Hello there YouTube, this is Hedora doing yet another dubstep wobble tutorial for you. I've got a new track out on the boinerband.com Dirty Bass Composition competition, which means that I have to do another tutorial how I got the particular bass drop sound. For this particular tutorial I made kind of like an engine note. I don't mean like a diesel hybrid, I mean like a proper roaring V8 supercharged and things. Think Fast and Furious meets English dubstep. That's brilliant stuff. And also, as you can probably tell, I've finally managed to get my mic sorted out, which means I can actually talk you through the process as I'm doing it, rather than using those awful YouTube annotation things which don't really explain anything. Anyway, first things first, open up Massive and new sound. It's worth pointing out at this point that this was never actually meant to be like the sound you hear on the actual track. Originally I was trying to figure out how to make that Skrilex dub sound like you find in Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites, but everyone kept on saying, oh, you need to resample this, parallel compress that, multiple distortion and all that shit, and I just thought, no, there must be a way to do it just using Massive alone. And yeah, I came up with something. It's not quite there yet. It's pretty close to what Skrilex uses, but it's not perfect. But it's good enough for me. So let's get into that first. First of all, open up OS1. You want to set it to modern talking, and set this value from spectrum to format. Set the wavetable position about there, and intensity about there. Yeah. Oh, you want to detune all of these oscillators by about an octave. You will be using all of them, so it will be required. I'm going to turn off oscillator 1 so you can hear what I'm doing to os2. Another modern talking. Leave this one as spectrum. Wavetable position, same as oscillator 1. Intensity full. Amp full. Yeah. Oh, hang on. I forgot to turn my decay level up on my volume envelope. Gets us nice smooth sound. Turn that one off for now. Open up a bronze oscillator on oscillator 3. Yeah, set that one to format 2. Intensity down to nothing. Amp full. That's a horrible sound right now, but trust me, it gets better. To get that Skrilex sound, everyone keeps on thinking that it's like a ya-ya, so use the sample and hold setting on here, but every time I listen to it I think it's not really a ya-ya. It's, for lack of a better term, it's a jar-jar kind of sound. So rather than going ya 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 ya, it goes kind of ja 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 ja, like a machine gun or a jackhammer or something. So that's kind of motivation for the next bits. Turn these oscillators on. I'm going to bring up an LFO, sync it to my host, make it 1/2. That's a good, nice slow start. I'm going to use the bending 1 waveform because it's a little bit more awesome than just using a plain sine wave. I'm going to turn the phase for oscillator 1 on, and the thing you have to remember about the phase when using heavily distorted oscillators like modern talking is that the more phase you give it, the more crap it sounds, if I'm honest. You can only do so much on it, so I'm going to modulate phase on oscillator 1 ever so slightly. There. That's literally all you need on that one. And I'm also going to modulate the wavetable position on oscillator 1. That much will do. And also the intensity. And because this is set to formants, it'll give its own like sort of exaggerated yar sounds. I'm going to do the same for oscillator 2. Not quite as much, in fact. I'm going to leave the intensity as it is. And again on, well, I'll stay to 3. About that much for the wavetable, and that much for the intensity. Right, and let's see what you have so far. Okay, it's a bit boring right now, so I'm going to add in screen filter. Everyone loves a screen filter. Cut off to full, screen to about there, and resonance about the same. In fact, resonance is going to turn down a little bit. I'm going to modulate the cutoff, going the other way, about that much. Modulate the scream, about so much. Turn the scream up a little bit actually. And you get... I'm going to bring the mix up on that side. Yeah, it's really starting to get very shouty and angry. I'm going to turn on a classic tube. Dry wet up to medium. If I'm honest, all that does is just make it louder, if I'm honest, but, you know, loud is good. Also going to add a chorus ensemble. Not quite as much wet as the tube. In fact, a bit less than that, I think, actually. That's fine. I'm not going to bother talking through all the rate and offset and depth things, because, if I'm honest, I can't remember them. And also, I'm going to turn on an EQ. Leave the high shelf and low shelf as they are, but we're going to boost the high mids and really bring out that ah sound in it. So frequency about there, that should be about right. I'm going to bring the boost to about 3 o'clock. I'm going to modulate the boost other way to about there. Okay, and just to finish off, I'm going to put a sine shaper on it. I'm going to set the drive to just below halfway. I'm going to set the dry wet mix to about there. I'm going to modulate that. So we're not modulating the distortion, we're just modulating how much of it gets through. So about there. Going to your OSC section. I like bending things up by 5 and down by 5 as well on the keyboard. I'm going to set it to mono rotate and legato triller. Okay, that should be alright. And so now, I like that. It's, like I said, it's not quite what Skrilex uses, but it's getting there. And also, if you turn up the rate, it's like I said, it's not really a yah. It's got a little bit more of a ch sound in there, like a char or a jar, tra, anything else that ends with r. But yeah. I like that sound. But that's not actually the full way I did it on the track. That was just me trying to make a Skrilex sound. What I did after that, this is why you need Logic actually, because Logic comes with the Space Designer plugin, which is a reverb, but it's not the greatest reverb of all time. In fact, I use Lexicon for my reverbs. But the great thing about Space Designer is that you don't have to use it as a reverb. You can actually use it for all kinds of different effects. If I'm honest, I cheated a little bit here and I used a preset. If you go under the Warped Effects folder, Analog Circuits, you find something called the Fixed Analog Chorus setting. And as you can see, it's not actually a reverb, otherwise there'd be a long tail coming out here. It's just a pulse. So like a very short reverb, very short delay, just to give that sort of chorusy sound. And I tried it one day and it sounded like this. And I thought that was awesome first time I heard it. In fact, if I do a little bit of a pitch bend to it, To me, it sounded like an old muscle car revving. It might not sound the same to everyone else, but then again, it's me, and anyone who knows me will quote me on that. That didn't make a lot of sense, that last sentence, but fair enough. Anyway, that's how I made that sound. And yeah, if you have any questions or anything, feel free to post a comment below. I won't be doing any more of these tutorials for a while, because I doubt I'm going to get another entry for the competition then by the deadline, which is on the 1st. And also, my copy of Camtasia, which I'm using to record everything here, it's a trial version and it runs out today. So, yeah, well, I don't have the money to buy the full version. So I'll be back when I've either got the money to buy the full version of Camtasia or have found something better for cheaper. So yeah, until that point, I will see you guys around. Stay sick.